1. Do you work or are you a student?
Presently, I am a student. I have been studying at Beijing University for 3 years. I will graduate in 1 year.
2. What subject are you studying?
I am studying accounting. Along with accounting, I am also majoring in business finance.
3. Why did you choose to study that?
My father has a business and I want to work with him. I plan to take over company finances.
4. Do you like your university?
It's okay. I'm not thrilled with it, but I am getting the education that I wanted.
5. Is there anything you don't like about your studies?
Basically, studying. Just joking. Some of my studies I just have to take for the credits, and that gets a little tedious sometimes.
6. Which subject do you like the most?
I like math. For some reason, math comes easy to me. It could be because my father was a math teacher.
7. Which subject do you think will be most useful to you after you leave university?
I suppose my English class will be the most useful, since I am planning on studying further in Australia. Probably 90% of what I've learned I will never use, though.
8. Do you often get together with your classmates after classes?
I get together with my classmates as much as I can after class. Getting together with them really helps to relieve the pressure for me.
9. What was your favourite subject in high school?
Well, I think my favourite subject in high school was art. One reason was I sat next to the prettiest girl in the class.
10. Which school subject do you think is most useful for people in adult life?
Any subject having to do with communication would be the most useful when you graduate from school. Geography is also a subject that is nice to know if you are going to travel. You would want to know what country you are in and which country is north and which is south.
Bicycle. 1. Are bicycles popular in your city?
Bicycles are generally popular in China, probably because they are cheap transportation and you can get good exercise from riding them.
2. Do you often ride a bicycle?
Yes, I often ride a bicycle if I'm not going too far, or if I just want the exercise.
3. What do you think are the advantages and disadvantages of bicycles compared to cars or public transport?
Well, for one thing, travelling in cars and public transport is much quicker and can be more convenient. But when you ride bicycles, you don't get stuck in traffic and you can get some good exercise.
4. Do you think bicycles are suitable for present society?
Not always, because it takes too long to travel from place to place, and this makes bicycles not so practical. On the other hand, bikes are very suitable for present society, seeing we have reached the halfway mark in oil consumption. Maybe one day soon we will all be riding bikes.
Transport. 1. What means of transport do you usually use?
I don't have a car, so I usually use public transport, like buses or taxis or the metro. It's quite convenient for me.
2. What's your favourite means of transport?
My favourite way to travel is by plane because it's quick and convenient, even if it is expensive. I love to fly above it all and forget about traffic jams.
3. How do you like to travel for long trips?
By plane, because then it doesn't take me so long to get to my destination. I don't want to waste my valuable time just getting there. I have more important things to do.
4. What's the traffic like here in Beijing?
It's not so bad because of the subway. It usually doesn't take long to get from place to place.
5. How do you think the public transport could be improved?
Well, here in Beijing, I think they just need to add a few more subway lines and add some more ring roads and have more buses available in order to improve public transport.
Noise. 1. Do you mind noises? Do any noises bother you?
Yes, I can't stand certain noises, like construction work going on in my apartment.
2. What type of noise do you come across here in your daily life?
Where I live, you can hear a lot of noise from the construction and the traffic. At night, I can almost literally feel the hum of all the TVs and people talking in the area. People say that I am very sensitive to noise.
3. How do you feel if you work in a noisy environment?
I feel irritable and I can't concentrate. I need to work in a quiet, orderly environment.
4. Are there any sounds that you like?
I like the sound of rain falling and of music and of birds singing. I also like the sound of my mother's voice calling me to dinner. This is one of my favourite sounds.
5. Are there any sounds you don't like?
I hate the sound of snoring, or of babies crying, or of people talking very loudly. I also really dislike the sound of people complaining. This is one of my pet peeves.
6. Are cities becoming noisier?
I suppose they might be, since cities are getting larger, but I think that we are all becoming a little deaf from the noise in the city, and we don't even know it.
7. What about noise pollution? How do Chinese people feel about this form of pollution? Is it a problem in your hometown?
Well, if you have 1.4 billion people crammed into only about a fourth of the country's space, you're bound to have problems with noise. In big cities, noise is just a fact of life that you have to live with. In my hometown, it didn't used to be a problem, but when more people started getting cars and construction sites started popping up all over the place, the noise went from bad to worse. Maybe someday it'll get better, although I'll probably go deaf before that happens. 1. What kinds of food do you particularly like?
I really like spicy food. I'm actually wild about Beijing duck. I could eat it every day.
2. Is there any food you don't like?
I don't like sweet and sour food because I don't like mixing the two.
3. What kinds of food are most popular in China? Or, what kinds of food do Chinese people like to eat?
Of course, rice is the most popular food in China, but that goes without saying. Noodles are very popular, along with breads.
4. Do you like cooking?
I love to cook, but not for very many people, because then it's just too much work. I think it's very interesting to come up with my own recipes and experiment with different dishes.
5. Who usually does the cooking in your home?
I do most of the cooking, but there are others, like my mother, who take turns too. I learned most of my cooking from my mum. She is a great cook.
6. Do you prefer to eat at home or in restaurants?
I prefer to eat in a restaurant, because then there's no washing up. The atmosphere and setting are usually more relaxing and pleasant.
7. Do you often eat with your family?
I eat with my family almost every day. Eating together is a special time for us, especially in the evenings, because then we spend time together and can talk about our day.
8. Do you think it's important for people to eat with their family?
I think it gives people time to spend with their family, when they can eat good food and enjoy each other's company. It is almost the only time when you have all of the family together. So It is a good thing to do.
9. Do you often go to restaurants to eat?
Not often, but every now and again. If I had more money, I would be eating out every night. It would save time on cooking and washing dishes and shopping.
10. What kind of restaurants do you like?
For me, the most important part about the restaurant is the food. I like variety too, so you will find me in just about any restaurant.
11. How do you think restaurants have changed over the past few years?
I think that there are more restaurants in the city. The food that they serve is more varied and from more countries than before. The nice thing that hasn't changed is the price. It is still pretty cheap to go out and eat. Family life. 1. Could you tell me about your family?
My father is a manager at a bank, and my mother is a nurse in a hospital. I am an only child, but I have many cousins that I've grown up with.
2. Do you still have your grandparents?
I only have one grandmother, for my father's parents died when he was young, and my mother's father passed away recently.
3. What influence do they have on their children or grandchildren?
They have a big influence on their children and grandchildren, especially grandchildren. They spend a lot of time with their grandchildren because their parents are usually working during the day.
4. How are you getting on with your parents?
I get on with my parents wonderfully. They're easy to talk to, kind, and I trust them completely.
5. Do you prefer to spend time with your family or with your friends?
In many ways, my family are my friends, but at the same time, I sometimes have more fun with my friends because they are closer to my age.
6. Is family very important to you?
My family is one of the most important things in the world to me. When everything goes wrong and nothing is going right, my family is always right there for me.
7. If you were married, how many children would you choose to have?
If I were married, I'd guess I'd want about 4 or 5 children. I would love to have a big family because then family members support and help each other, and my children won't be lonely growing up.
Friends. 1. What kind of people do you like to have as friends?
People that enjoy being around me and appreciate doing things with me. People who I can trust and have fun with.
2. Do you like to spend time with friends?
Yes, I love to spend time with friends. It's one of my favourite things to do because we have fun together and we can learn to understand each other's personalities.
3. Do you have a best friend?
Not really. I have many good friends or close friends, but no best friends. My nature is to be a little off to myself, so I really don't have a best friend.
4. What do you and your friends do together?
Often we sit around and chat, or we play games, or watch movies together. Sometimes we just like to chill and do nothing. I think that is important for friends.
5. Is friendship important to you?
Friends are very important to me, because if something's going badly for me, or if I have a problem, then I have someone I can tell my feelings to. Also, then I'm not lonely or bored.
6. What are the ways to meet potential friends?
I believe that if you are friendly to others and talkative and courteous, wherever you go you will find friends. Working life. 1. Could you tell me what you do for a living?
I work in the Foreign Trade Department. I'm in sales. It is my job to bring foreign investors to the city to open up a business here.
2. What are your responsibilities at work?
I have to develop a strategy for bringing foreign investment to Beijing. I work together with other departments to basically sell and promote Beijing as a good place to start a business.
3. What is the most interesting part of your work?
The most interesting part of my work is meeting people from other countries. To me, people are very interesting, and I am keen on learning the customs and cultures of other countries.
4. Is there anything you don't like about your job?
The pay is one thing that I don't like about my job. My boss is another thing that I don't like about my job. The distance to the office is the last thing that I don't like about my job.
5. Is your job very important to you?
My job is very important to me. If I didn't have my job, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you, applying for a chance to go overseas.
6. Would you like to change your job?
I don't want to get stuck at this job that I am working at now. I am still young, so I want to learn as much as I can, and then I plan on starting my own business.
7. Do you often get together with your colleagues, workmates, after work?
I do get together with my colleagues after work as much as I can. When I get together with them, we can shoot the breeze and have a few beers. I really look forward to getting together with them and count on it to make my week. Towns and cities. 1. Whereabouts did you grow up?
I grew up in Tianjin, a city that is southeast of Beijing. It is closer to the sea than Beijing and is also a municipal city, like Beijing.
2. Do you still live there?
No, I haven't lived there for many years. I went to school here in Beijing and have simply settled here and made it my hometown. I still go back to Tianjin every once in a while.
3. What's the most famous place in your hometown?
Well, there isn't much in Tianjin that is famous, not like Beijing, where there are so many famous places, but the TV tower is where most people want to go when they come to Tianjin.
4. How has your hometown changed in recent years?
I hardly even recognize it. It has changed so much. Just like most of China, Tianjin is changing rapidly at an alarming rate.
5. Where do you live now?
I live in Beijing now. I am happy to be here because the city is really on the move and there is a lot of excitement here because of the next Olympics.
6. What part of the city do you like best?
I like the CBD the most because there are a lot of clubs there and also a lot of hustle and bustle, and that is what I am into. I like to be where the crowds are, the same as most young people.
7. Is there anything you don't like about this city?
The springtime, when the winds from the Gobi Desert blow in and the sky turns a hazy orange, is one thing I don't like about Beijing. Another one of my least favourite things is having to fight rush hour traffic on the subway.
8. Do you want to live in a big city or a small town?
I just couldn't go back to living in a small town. I've gotten accustomed to life in the big city, and it would be hard to get me back to those country roads. Mobile phone. 1. Do you have a mobile phone?
Yes, I have a mobile phone. I carry it with me everywhere I go. Well, not everywhere, but close to everywhere.
2. What do you use it for?
Sometimes I use it for business reasons, but mostly for personal conversations or text messaging. With the phone that I have, I can go online or even download books and then read them off my phone. It is so cool.
3. Who uses a mobile phone the most often in your family?
Why, it's me. I talk too much on the phone, and then my phone bill is huge. It's terrible.
4. Is a mobile phone important in your life?
I guess so, for it makes life a lot easier and more convenient. But it's not like I couldn't live without it if I had to. Once I went for a whole 3 days without using my phone. My boyfriend was so proud of me.
Email. 1. Do you often write letters?
Yes, sometimes I think I enjoy writing letters more than I enjoy talking to people.
2. Who do you usually write to, and what do you write about?
I write to my family and to my friends. We tell each other about our lives and work, and also we talk about our opinions and feelings.
3. What do you think is the most difficult kind of letter to write?
I usually have a hard time writing business or formal letters, because then I just don't know what to say. It's hard to formulate proper sentences.
4. Do you prefer to write letters or emails?
I definitely prefer writing emails, because I can type quite quickly. When I write letters, my hand gets tired, and besides, the letter takes much longer to reach the person.
5. What are the differences between handwritten letters and emails?
Most people feel that handwritten letters are more personal, and they feel as if the writer has taken more time and thought in writing it. Emails are sometimes rather informal.
Daily routine and leisure time. Daily routine. 1. What part of your day do you like best?
My favourite part of the day is late afternoon, because the day's work is coming to an end. I can go home and I have the evening to look forward to, and the weather is generally pleasant and cool.
2. What is the busiest part of the day for you?
From about 10 o'clock to noon. That is when I have to take care of my work, and things are a bit hectic.
3. When do you have free time?
I have free time during the evenings and on the weekends. I guess you could say that I have it pretty good, because a lot of people here in China don't have so much free time.
4. What's your favourite way to relax?
I take a long hot shower, and then I jump in bed with a good book and something to snack on. It's a little hard on my figure, but then it just means that I have to do a few more exercises the next morning.
5. Do you do things in your leisure time with friends or family?
Mostly with my friends. I often go out to eat or go shopping with my friends, and sometimes we stay in and watch a movie or play games. Sometimes we just talk together.
6. Do you have any hobbies or interests?
I love to read novels, go go-karting, hiking, watch movies, and write. I have lots of different interests.
Weekends. 7. How do you usually spend the weekend?
I sleep late and watch movies. I go out with my friends, or I work on different projects I haven't had time for during the week. Sometimes, if I'm really tired or stressed from the week, I will just stay in bed all weekend.
8. Which do you prefer, Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday, because I can go out in the evening and stay out late, and I don't have to worry about waking up early for work the next morning.
9. Are weekends important to you?
Very. It's some of the only time I can use for my hobbies or spend with my family. On the weekends, I feel free to do exactly what I want.
10. Should people be paid overtime for working at the weekend?
Definitely. Working overtime is extra, and it takes away the relaxation time so many people need, so people should be compensated for it.
Shopping. 11. Do you like shopping?
No, I actually don't like shopping. I hate making decisions, and it irritates me to spend all that time looking for what I want. It irritates me even more if it's too expensive on top of that.
12. Are there many shops near where you live?
Yes, but only small shops which sell all kinds of curious things. No big shopping malls. I think there is going to be a shopping centre opening up soon near where I live, and that should be nice.
13. Who usually does the shopping in your home?
My mum does the shopping, and sometimes I go along too. Sometimes I have to go out and do the shopping, and I enjoy haggling with the vendors. I look forward to it.
14. Do you have a regular time to go shopping?
For some things, yes. For example, my mum goes food shopping twice a week, but I only go shopping for clothes when I feel like it.
15. What things do you usually buy when you go shopping?
I buy way too much jewellery, and peculiar hats that I will never wear, and lots of scarves. It's hard for me to make decisions on what to buy when it's anything real big or costly.
16. Do you prefer shopping in small shops or big supermarkets and department stores?
I prefer shopping in small shops because you can find more unusual things, and they come cheaper too. I like to get to know the owners, and sometimes they will cater to me a bit. Holidays and travelling. 1. What do you do in your holidays?
For most holidays, I just stay home and rest and enjoy myself. But if it's a particularly long holiday, I like to travel. If I stay home, I can read and play computer games and do what I like to do. I can spend time with my friends, although often my relatives want me to visit them as well. So there is a lot to do.
2. Do you think holidays are becoming more and more important?
Not necessarily. Holidays have always been important to people. But of course, the harder your work, the more important your holiday becomes to you, because you need that relaxation more.
3. Do you like to travel in your holidays or free time?
If it's a long holiday, I love to travel, especially to places I have never been to before. It's an adventure, and you see so many great and beautiful and strange things. I really enjoy travelling because when you have a change of scenery and a change of environment for a while, it helps you to relax and is good for your health.
4. What kind of places do you like to travel to?
I like to travel to exotic places, different countries, and places with beautiful natural scenery. However, I don't often have the opportunity to go to places like that, so instead I like to go to places where I can enjoy myself with my friends and where there are fun things to do together.
5. Have you ever been to the seaside?
Yes, I've had several vacations at the seaside. There is a beach not too far from where my family lives, so every time I go to visit my family, we spend a lot of time on the beach.
6. Why do some people take their holidays at the seaside?
I guess they like to swim, lie on the sand, tan, and go sailing on the sea. Plus, there are usually a lot of nice restaurants near the seaside, and it is a good opportunity to enjoy fresh seafood.
7. Do you want to live near the sea?
No, I don't like the sea. It's so salty and deep, and there are all kinds of fish and other creatures swimming about in it. On the other hand, the air is often quite clean near the sea, and the weather very pleasant compared to farther inland. So if I was concerned about my health, I would probably choose to live near the sea. Housing and accommodation. 1. What kind of housing, accommodation do you live in?
I live in an apartment building. My family owns 2 apartments right next to each other, and I live in the smaller apartment with my sister. My mother and father and my father's parents live in the other.
2. How do you like it?
Oh, I like it very much. I live quite high up and I have a wonderful view of the city, and it is very convenient to live near my parents, as my mum often cooks for us when we are very busy.
3. What kind of decorations do the rooms, have?
The apartment is very nicely furnished, though simple. We have a brand new living room set, a couch and 2 chairs, which my parents picked out. My sister and I picked out the curtains and lamps and knickknacks so that it has some kind of a Middle Eastern style. We decorated our own rooms with all the things we saved from growing up.
4. What kind of house or apartment do you want to live in?
I want to live in a little house in the country, with 2 floors and a big attic and basement, and wide gardens and orchards around it. I would probably have to live in an apartment in town most of the time, and I would like my apartment to also have 2 floors.
5. Which is your favourite room in your home?
My favourite room is my room, because it has my bed and things in it, and a little window seat where you can sit in the sunshine and look outside. When I want to get away from everything for a while, I can escape to my room surrounded by the things I love that remind me of happy memories. And if I want to chill, I can play computer games whenever I want.
6. Which room does your family spend most of the time in?
My family spends most of their time in the living room. We often watch DVDs together, or we just talk about our day. And if we have friends or relatives over, we will all go into the living room to sit and talk and eat some snacks.
7. What would you say is the best thing about your home?
My favourite thing about my home is the big terrace we have. It's a very pleasant place to sit in the warm weather. There is a secret door inside a closet that leads out onto the terrace, and we have a picnic table and chairs out there, so you can just go out there under the sky and read a book or look up into the clear blue sky.
8. Would you like to move to another place?
Not now, but eventually, yes, because I think I would be bored to live in the same place for too long. I would miss my parents, so it would be hard to move away from home, but at the same time I am anxious to have a life of my own. Plus, I think that living in a big city is very impersonal, and I would like to live in a different place. Sports and exercise. 1. What is your favourite sport?
My favourite sport is definitely soccer. I love the feeling of being out there on the field and just running with the wind.
2. Why do you like it so much?
In soccer, the rules are not too complicated, but it's very competitive and takes a lot of skill and talent to play well. I always have fun when I'm playing or watching it on TV.
3. What is the most popular sport in your country?
I think it's basketball. Football also has always been the most popular sport in China. Badminton and ping pong are close behind.
4. Do you like to exercise daily?
No, I don't. I'm awfully lazy. I know that I need to change this habit, or I'm afraid it is going to come back and bite me in the butt.
5. How much time do you spend exercising?
Probably 5 or 6 hours a week. I know that I will not make the Olympics at that rate, but then again, sports is not my field.
6. What are the advantages of regular exercise?
There's the obvious advantage that if you regularly exercise, you will stay stronger, more fit and healthier, but you also get better sleep and it helps calm your busy mind.
7. Where do people in China usually exercise?
Young people go to the gym or go to a playground and play basketball. Older people will just go outside their apartments and do Tai Chi.
8. What forms of exercise are most popular in China?
Badminton or ping pong are very popular here in China. Basketball and football are also very popular.
9. Do you think primary school children should have sports classes at school?
I certainly think so, because primary school children have a lot of energy, and if they must remain cooped up at a desk all day, they will not be able to concentrate because they will want to go out and play.